Welcome back again, my friends. So this is the categories page. So now let's actually work on that. So let me go back to my application, go back and close everything right here. Go back to the pages. So inside dashboard, then admin, then categories, then our page right here. So the first thing I want to do is actually get all the categories that I have so I can check them out right here and list them in the table that we're going to create. Okay, so first of all, we have this function right here. It's going to be asynchronous, so I can actually achieve that. Now I have to go back to my category queries and actually create a query that will get all the categories there. So we're going to go back and then inside the queries, then category, then under that, let me just have two spaces and add this comment right here. So for the function, it's going to be called get all categories. For the description, it retrieves all categories from the database. Very simple. For the permission level, it's going to be public. And the reason for that is going to be public because we need those categories, for example, in our website and the homepage. I want to get them in the menu. So we're going to allow everyone to be accessing the categories there. Okay. And then what it returns an array of categories, and then we're going to sort them by the updated date in descending order. So very self-explanatory right here. So it's going to be a very simple one. So actually let's not have any space. So export and then const, I can't even see the keyboard again. So const gets all categories, and this one is going to be an asynchronous function like this. And this now we're just going to simply have a comment right here, which is going to say retrieve all categories from the database, and then const and then categories, and they just simply await db.category and just use the function find many and just simply without any conditions, and it will get us everything. But the only thing that we need to do is just simply order, because we want to order them descendantly. So order by, and then simply what property you want to order by is the updated at, and then the order is descending like this. And then after that, we just simply have to return the categories like this. And simply take this function here, go back to the pages, and we can retrieve them. So I can just go right here and then const and then categories. And then we're going to use await and then call the query, which is get all categories. You can import that, get it here. Now let me add a comment here, just like this. And then also for the queries, I'm just going to add the comments here. And we have the categories, but there is an issue right here. If we don't have the categories, what we're going to show. So we're just simply going to return nothing, or you can have the option just simply by showing like an empty table. It's depending on you. For just simply you can go, if there is no categories, just return null, okay, like this, and this is simply return. So how do we create this table? This is like the most important part about all of this. So to create a table, there is something that is called a data table in ShadScene. So if you go to ShadScene UI and then data table, they will give you this data table right here. So you can see this data table that they give you by default, and there is the code for it. So you can simply take the code of them and actually use it. It's very simple. It has the functionality of selecting, etc. This has this cell actions. Okay, so these are called cell actions, and simply you can delete from him or can edit the details of the category. For example, we will do that. There is this one right here, to which properties you want to see. So you can see a few nice things that the data table have. Also, there is the search functionality. So yeah, this is something that you can read about them. There is a lot of stuff you can add. The pagination, sorting, filtering, row selection, reusable components, as you can read a lot about them here. So to save you the hassle and actually just going one by one and try to create that, I have created it for you. And this data table is going to be a component that we will use in this full course. So to make things easier for you, just simply go back to components, then UI right here, create a new file. Where are you, bro? Just go back to UI and then create a new file. I'm just gonna go call it data and then table and then .tsx, like here, tsx, and just simply paste this here. This is the table you need to paste. And for that, I'm gonna add this, don't worry. But this is the component you add. It's very commented well. There is few things that you need to add right here, but let me just explain what we have. So as you go, they have the table. These are the functions, like it takes the data, the columns, and this is the Fortran model if you need. This is just simply the input using for search, okay? And this is the search input and action button. We will talk about that later. This is the button I'm going to show you later. There is this custom model right here, and it takes some model children. I'm going to explain what is that. And this simply right here, it has the table and it returns all this information. So it's not something special. The things that we need, first of all, we need to install this React table. So I'm just going to take that and just go back and then one and then add that. That is the first thing. Now we have to create a model, okay? Which is, first of all, we're gonna create a model provider. A model provider is just simply gonna be our provider that when we open it, we open that model that you see, for example, to update your data, okay? And this model provider can take even data and can take a function that do something. For example, when you update, you can, when you open it, you can run a function that will look for the informations of that row, for example. So it's very nice. And also, I don't want to make things very complex, but it's not. Just bear with me a second. So what we need to do is just create that provider. Let me just go back. Sorry guys, just give me a second. I'm going to copy it for you. So, and explain it, because if we want to type it, it's going to take too long. Imagine trying to write this. This is simply from Shadcn UI. This is nothing special or something I come up with. I just took it and just customized it and comment it for you guys. So what we need to do right now, we have this component here. This is the app, there is queries. We need to create another folder if you want to, or you can just have it inside your library. But I'm just gonna, I'm gonna create a new folder. Why not? Let's call this context or providers, whatever you want. So I'm just gonna call it providers right here. And inside of this one, I'm gonna create a new file and I'm gonna call it model and then provider.tsx. And then inside of this, just paste this. And let me actually remove this from here, remove all of this. We're actually gonna only leave the user here. So you can copy that. It's going to have the final function, a final form right here. So as you can see, there is an interface right here. So it takes children. Of course, a model takes children, which is wherever you want to pass. So it's just the form, or probably the form that we're going to, update the data there. It can take data like the user, for example, there. So you can pass like certain informations you want, like the information of the user. And as you can see, this is the model context. It takes the data. It takes also is open, which is a Boolean. So if it is open or not. There is also the set open, which is takes the state of the model, right, as you can see, and it takes the fetch data function, which is a promise that we can wait to resolve. So this fetch data, as I told you, when you open, you can run this fetch data function. And this may sound confusing, I know, of course, very simple, but when we get through it, it's going to be so easy. There is also the set close function. And as you can see right here, when there is this is the set open function. When we open it, just simply opens the model, and there is this fetch data function that does that, and then simply open the model, right? As you can see, set open true. This is set close function, and we create that context. This is the model context. That's the children, and showing the model here, and this is the use model that we can import whenever we need it, and just simply give us the context of the model we have there. Okay, simple. This is just really simple. And I didn't want to type it all the way to make you bored. So I'm just going to go now back to app and then layouts. And then instead of children, I'm going to wrap that over model provider right here and import it like this. So now if you go back to your data table, and now the model provider, so let me just add that now, is going to be available with no problem. Okay, but we need now to create that custom model that's just going to hold those model inside, okay? Because this model, this is just the context, okay, which we need like a certain wrapper div, or you can say it, or a wrapper component around them, which what we call the custom model right here. That can be used in I'm just gonna use this one. Is gonna be also only in dashboard. I don't think we're gonna use this one on the normal application. So it's gonna be inside dashboard and then shared, and then we can create this custom model right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back. So let me just close everything here, go back to components and then shared, not here. We're gonna go to dashboard, then shared, and then we can create a new file that is gonna be called custom model here .tsx. And just simply, this is the custom model. So for the custom model is also a very simple one to not bore you out. This is going to have a bit of UI. So we need the provider, okay? And in simple ways, it takes some props. It takes a hidden, subhidden. So for example, when you're trying to show a model, is going to be inside this sort of wrapping div that's going to have like a title and then also a subtitle, which is the hidden and the subhidden. So as you can see, this is a dialog, this is going to be our model, you could say. wrapping model. And then if you have a heading, it's going to show the title. And if it has a description, it's going to show the description and then the children. So let's say I have right here a table and I have an information in row. So I click on the cell actions and I click edit. What's going to happen? I can open a custom model, which is this one, our custom model, and we can have a title for it right here and then a subtitle, and then under it we're going to have the children, which is going to be the form, which is the exact form, which is the category details form that we can update our category informations there. So this is not confusing at all, very simple. All the code is going to be alongside this tutorial, and also it's going to be alongside our GitHub repository just there. So let me try to see, can we have it right now? So dashboard, okay. So let me try and actually get the proper custom model import from here. So let me go down and try to import it. So what is it? So this is the custom model. I'm just gonna go and add this in the custom components like this. Okay, so now we have everything ready for us. We have the custom model, the custom model, and also we add the model provider, and then we have the data table. Those are prerequisites so we can start actually working. So let me close the layout. So now right here, what we need to return here, so we need to return our data table. So here, so we're just gonna go data and then table, which is going to be imported right here, as you can see. Let me just go right here, and this one, let's call it data and then table like this from our UI components. And let me actually add this here. So simply it's going to be a self-closing tag, so we don't even have to do it this way, just a self-closing tag. So I'm just going to remove this one, and just go data table, and actually let me remove out of here this here and remove this. And now let's see what information it takes. So as you can see, few informations. So this one's take the heading if you want to, and also the subheading. And the heading and the subheading are the ones that are going to be in the model. So when you open your model, this information you pass the heading and the subheading, it's gonna be that. So for example, if you have a data table for categories, so when you try to update a category, the heading and subheading is gonna be that, but I'm not gonna pass it, okay? But there is a button which we called the action button text. This is simply the button that when you create, you can actually click to open a new model to create the category. So this one is gonna take like a button you can pass. So simply you can pass something like, let's just simply have an empty tag, and let's have an icon which is called plus from Lucid React. This is a normal icon, and then we can give it a size. It takes the property size here, and we can give it like size 15, and then the text right here is going to be create and then category. Okay, category like this, and sorry, the text should be outside of the icon, something like that. So this is the action button text. Then after that, we need the model children. The model children, so the data table also takes the model children. The model children is the one that when we try to edit, for example, our row or our data there, what we're gonna show? We're gonna show our component, which is the category. So the category details component or form. Okay, like that. This is going to be our model children, and this one is going to be to try to create. So simply is going to be this way, and it's going to ask us for the Cloudinary key. So if it asks us for the Cloudinary key, we have to provide it. So I'm just going to go and just copy paste this here, so we can have this right here, and this is going to be our Cloudinary key. You could pass it directly if you want to, but I still would go the hassle and even do it this way. So now, as you can see, we have the button that we will use to create the category, to click and to open the model, and the model it's gonna open is this one. So you can understand how it goes. I click this button that I have here to open this one. This is how the data table work. Then after the model children, we need a filter value. A filter value is like when you're trying to search, what is the value you want to filter by and search by, which is gonna be the name. So in the category, we're gonna search by the name. Makes sense. And then after that, we need the data, and the data right here is going to be what is going to be our categories, the ones that we got. And then not only that, we need the search placeholder. So the search placeholder, this is simply the text we use to search. So we can say search category name like this or something. So that works. Now the last thing that it takes is columns, and the column simply is gonna specify like the proper like structure of the data. So when I say columns, it means like I'm gonna have a table. The columns are, this is the column name, then the column like image, then the column like featured or not, the column created ads, and then another column that's gonna have the sell actions. So this is the column, and column also is something that we have to create. And where do we gonna create it? Is gonna be next to this, next to the page exactly. I'm gonna have a new file there, and I'm gonna call it columns and then .tsx. And this is also a file that you can just go and type it from scratch. I did it for you, so I'm just gonna copy paste it here and explain it. So first of all, I'm just gonna update right here the import. This one is gonna be, it's gonna be components. Let me try to import it from here. So custom model, so we can get the proper one, and then I can just go and let me just show you custom model and just go on top here and just have it here. Let me go down and explain what's going on one by one. So as you can see, export const columns. So these are the columns that I'm talking about. Every single column right here that we're gonna have is gonna be from the type category. Of course, we're gonna have a row. So that row is gonna represent a category. So we have to specify the type category, okay, which is gonna be an array. So the columns are gonna be shown just another row, all are categories. So the accessory key is just simply gonna be image, for example. For the first one, you can have a header. The header is just simply the text you have on the top of the table there for that like column. And then this is cell, we use row, and then we can return everything, right? Anything we want right here, for example, a span, an image, and we can access the properties of the category from the data we pass. So if I say row.original, I can access any property. Like right here, I can access like the name, I can access every property of the category that I have. So right here, I choose this image to use it inside an image. But if I have a name, I can just return a normal span. I can style it the way I want to and just go row.original and then name. The same goes for URL, the same goes for featured. I'm just using featured. If it's true, I'm gonna return an icon that's like a bad check, which is mean that is checked, that is true. And if not, I'm just gonna use this icon, which means is not. Then we come to icons. So for the actions, so just by using the ID actions right here, we can now actually just go and extract the row data. So the row, you have the data of the row by accessing row.original, and that original is gonna have all the information. That's why we only use row.original, and then we pass it to cell action. So the cell action is simply gonna pass the informations of that row, and then we can handle it. If I try to update, I have the row data with me, okay? So I have the ID there, I have the name, so inside the row data I have all the informations. So I'm gonna have the cell actions components created here. Sorry, something happened though. So I'm just gonna reopen. It seems like something happened, guys, so no problem. I'm just gonna, I have the fastest CPU in the world, and it still gives problems. And I have like 64 RAM, and it still these issues. I don't know why. So for the cell actions right here, as you can see, these components right here, it takes this prop, so it takes the raw data, which is type category, of course, and then we have the use model right here, so we can open and close our model. So as you can see, so this use model right here, we can use it to open or close our model. We have the loading state, so if I'm trying to update something, and have toast and routes, of course we're gonna need those. So if we don't have in our raw data, we can't open that cell action, and there is the alert dialog. So as you can see right here, we have the open menu here, this action. And as you can see right here, this is the components we use to actually, we need another property send here, which is now we're trying to actually update. And when we try to update, we need to also send the Cloudinary key right here. Okay, I'm gonna see how I'm gonna do this. So let's just leave it this way, but I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna do this, also send the Cloudinary key. So as you can see right now, when we have actions right here, so when you open this, it's just simply gonna open the category details form. And simply for the function, when we open it, we can actually go to the raw data and actually get the new informations using the raw data ID. So for example, when I try to edit a certain category, I click there, and when I click there, I also make sure I update the data of that row. So I make sure before I update, I have the latest data from the database. And that model right here is going to be under the edit details. Okay, that's the drop down menu item. And then after that, we have another drop down menu item, which is delete category. And the delete category is going to be clicked. When we clicked, it's going to trigger this dialog content right here, and it's going to say, are you absolutely sure? It's going to be, this action cannot be undone, this will permanently delete the category, etc. And then after that, it will show you this alert dialog action, and it's either you're going to click yes or cancel right here. But if you click yes, this simply gonna on click is gonna set loading to true and then await, and then it's gonna run this function, which is a query function that we will create, which is the delete category that takes the ID of that category. And if it's done right, it's gonna say deleted category, the category has been deleted, and then it's gonna refresh the data of this page, okay, without reloading it. So as you can see, very nice here. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop here because this is getting too much. I know this is what we done. We still have these issues right here that we need to fix. Let me remove this. So we have this issue right here. We have to create the delete category and get category and actually see what we have, but we don't have anything right now. You can just go and just pass columns this way. And if you go back to your application and let me actually open our, let's see if it's gonna open by itself. Did we actually open that? Let me see. Oh, it's opened on localhost 3000 for some reason. Yeah, because it's still opened here. So I'm just gonna go bandev and open the localhost 3000 again. And let's see what we're gonna get. Let's see if we're just gonna get the shape of that table at least. So I'm just gonna go dashboard, then I'm gonna go admin and then categories, not new, but just categories like this. So as you can see, when we go here, it says we can actually see at least the shape of the table. As you can see, it has this button which is create category that's going to open this model. And this model, as you can see right here, is going to be the create. This is have the header, which is category information, the subtitle there, and we can create or edit the informations of that. So I'm zoomed in too much, but we're going to fix in the next video. We're going to also do everything and also fix this issue right of this item, because this one goes to the center there because of the inset property we have added that we were like trying to remove, and we will remove it and that will fix it. As you can see right here, we have the model right here. And something just before we go, I'm going to show you something. If you go back right here to the page right here, where is it, the categories here, and in the data table, if I went and added like a hidden, let's say anything, you can see now that the model we will have right here is going to have on top of it is going to have it here if we've passed it, right? So yeah, as you can see, it's right here. But the reason I'm not passing it is because I feel like this is enough. And if you want to do this and pass something else, you can also pass the sub hidden, etc. But that's it for this video, guys. We have to, at least set up things for us to start. And the next video, we start one by one. We will list the informations of the categories we have right here. And also we will work on the actions right there. Okay, so that's going to be very important. And you guys, see you in the next video as usual.